What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the light campaign, your best team to use inside the light campaign. You get a couple different parts of teams thrown at you at the beginning. This is a team that you start building right away. We're going to talk about who overall are the best campaign characters for the light side campaign, talk about replacements you can get as you progress towards the end of the campaign, you're buying certain characters from stores, and kind of who falls off. We're going to talk about all that in today's video. So if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's dive right into it. So when you start the game, you're handed a handful of light characters. You get two of them with Road to Rivendell, and Strider and Frodo. And of these, Road to Rivendell I do think is going to be a solid PvE endgame team. They're not very good up front, and I don't think they're something you should be building up to progress to the light campaign because they take a lot to really get to their full potential. You get chances to call to assists, you get a couple of assists here and there, you get some nice cooldown reductions, but Mary is very much, you don't get Mary until later in the campaign progression for Shadow, and even then, you still got to invest a lot to really get them going. So I don't recommend Road to Rivendell as your starting light campaign team, but you also get handed Rohan pretty quickly as well. Lady Eowyn you get handed right away. Éomer and Éothane are both very quick unlocks at the start of the game, and those have kind of become the core of my campaign team. So Éowyn, you pretty much in the tutorial get handed a summon for her. Éothane is a very early unlock. I believe the first time you do his mission in the hard campaign, you actually get him. Yeah, at light 1-1 hard, you actually get 15 shards of Éothane right away. And there you go, you get him unlocked. And then Éomer is through some quests early on, and if you want to continue to level him up, you can find him inside the arena store. No guarantees he's actually going to be there, but that's been the kind of the core of my light campaign team. And the other one that I've used is also Strider. Strider is one that has a lot of AoE, a lot of damage. You need a solid damage dealer. And Aragorn or Strider really brings that to the table here. This heroic charge, especially as you continue to level it up, you get even more benefits out of it. At level 4, for instance, this gets reduced to a 4-turn cooldown. His basic, and when used in conjunction with someone like Éothane, can just absolutely chunk an enemy. Éothane's basic can put expose on targets, which reduces their armor. You have Strider's basic attack, which deals bonus damage to a target if they have a Bane. So this the 1-2 combo of Éothane applying an expose and then Strider following up with a basic is pretty gross. It's gonna chunk some enemies. And of course you do have his multi-hit special here with Burn the Shadows. Overall, very good. I don't really worry about his leadership because I'm not really working on Road to Rivendell, and his passive is more built for a team like Road to Rivendell or for Rangers. So I don't really worry about either of those abilities for him. So you can just basically work on his ultimate and his basic for the most part. His special, if you really want to build that up, works as well. Lady Eowyn, she's a core of my team. I use her leadership, but I don't upgrade this too much because you're not using a full Rohan squad, so I'm not worried about getting the max benefit out of this. But if there's any ability you're going to level up for her, it's going to be Valiant Protector, because this gives might to all squad members. You get a little bit of the basic here, which is okay, but she's not a big damage dealer, so I'm not worrying too much about damage boost abilities. I went to level 2 for this because you get an ability block with this, which is great. Her passive, Shield Maiden of Rohan, always really good. On turn, always gain counterattack, bonus damage to counters. When an ally is inflicted with a Bane, you gain bonus turn meter. All very helpful, especially inside of campaigns, which is all about sustain. You're going to get hit with debuffs. So getting bonus turn meter on Éowyn for this, even better. It means that you get to use Break the Cage more often. Overall, a very strong character. Éomer, pretty solid damage dealer. He gets assists through his Brotherly Devotion ability, and when he uses basic attacks with the assist, he gains turn meter. Marshal's Command, not bad. The summon's really squishy. Courageous Charge is pretty good, especially with Éothane being on your team as well. This does a lot of damage. So you also get a Bane cleanse from him and Éothane with this, which is good because Éothane's going to be your tank. And for Éothane, You know, this one's a little more interesting. Sentinel Stance, you can upgrade this for more turn meter. Now, we've actually seen him start to fall off in arena meta, but that's not the point of this video. The basic exposes, you can increase this to a 2-turn expose at level 4 on the basic, which is pretty good. That's as far as I'm going to go with his basic for now. Show of Strength, we're doing that just enough to get the counterattack for 3 allies. Maybe way down the road, we upgrade to level 6, but that's going to be pretty expensive. And I don't really worry too much about Vanguard. I mean, the bonus max health's nice. We'll do that. I should have done that earlier. But, I mean, you're talking some small incremental max health increases, and they're just getting to the point where they're just getting priced out in terms of the expenses. The question then becomes, who is going to be your 5th? And you're going to want a healer in this role. And in terms of healers for light, you have a couple of options. The interesting thing is that between the shadow teams, you're building your healing through Ugluk's lead through that Isengard team. You don't really have a dedicated healer on the shadow squad. On the light side, you do have a couple, but the ones that are marked as healer, number one, Feely's going to take a long time to get. Naramiri, we're not even going to bother. Naramiri's not really good. There's really nothing there. His Friend of the Forest, it's a 3-turn cooldown, which is not bad, but again, not exactly an early game farm. So Shadow Campaign 3-9, do not recommend him either. And the other healer here is going to be Ealdred. Now, Ealdred's not bad. Since you're already running a Rohan trio, I can see the usefulness out of him here. He does get some nice healing bonuses with Rohan squad members, which is good. His Invigorating Draught, you can eventually drop this down to a 2-turn cooldown level 6, but you get some regeneration from him. You get bonus max health. He does give regeneration to Rohan squad members, and his basic, if he's called to assist, will give him turn meter. Problem is that you have to buy him in the supply section with gems. So it's going to take a while to build up stars on him. It's going to be expensive as well. And if you're free to play, not exactly a good option. So then your question then becomes, who else do you have that's in here? And it's really interesting that the best healers, in my opinion, don't get the healer tag. So early on, you get Pippin. And Pippin is going to be your starting option. And I don't think you're going to replace him for a while until you get other characters. So number one, his old Maggot's Mushroom. You cleanse Banes from all squad members before healing them. In case they have a heal block, that removes the heal block and they're going to get healed. Life of the Party will grant might to random squad members. And if Mary's present, he gets regeneration, but you're not going to worry about that. He gets bonus resistance, and as you level up his passive, he can remove Banes from random squad members, which is pretty good. And then his basic can dispel boons. And this is very helpful if you get stuck behind a character that's got a taunt on them. Now, unfortunately, until you get us up to level 4, it's a 50% chance. And you have to wait till level 6 to get that guaranteed dispel on the boon. So, not exactly great with that basic until late game, but this is one you get very early on inside of the guild campaign missions. You get him in guild 1.5, I believe, or 1.3. Very easy to farm and unlock. You get him. This is going to be your main healer for a while inside the light missions. So once you get that going, the other one we have to talk about, I mean, it's going to be Halbarad. If you know what's going on, you already know Halbarad's going to be your best option here. Halbarad is going to be a long farm. Unless you buy offers, he's going to take you several weeks to unlock. And the reason for that is that he is inside a challenge store, and he's not easy to buy. 2 shards or 1,000 challenge tokens. You're probably looking at, what, 7 to 8 shards a week if you're lucky. You're looking at about 2 months of buying his tokens from the challenge store to get him unlocked. So this is a long grind, but absolutely worth it. By the time you unlock him, if you haven't bought the offers, you should be able to get him up to his mid-level 40s. And once you do, well, Rugged Medicine comes into play. And he's very much a late bloomer, which is fine for people who are buying his shards from the store because of how long it's going to take. By the time you get him unlocked, you're going to be at a player level. You can level him up automatically to get this to level 5, which means level 45 on him. This heal is absolutely ridiculous. He's also very tanky. He has the best health in the game. He's pretty slow. So when he does taunt with Northern Storm, he's going to be tanking for a long while, and that huge health that he has means that he's going to be able to take quite a few hits, but that huge health pool also means this is going to heal for a lot. When you have a fully upgraded Halbarad, you're talking 3,000 to 4,000 heals on this. Right now, I'm healing for about 1,200. That's going to double as soon as I get this upgrade, at least. Actually, it's probably going to heal for close to 2,500 to anywhere between 25 to 3,000 is where this is going to upgrade. So this is a pretty significant upgrade. Again, very much a late bloomer. You do get weak-minded on his basic here, which is not bad. So Halbarad's pretty much the go-to fifth, the go-to best healer on the light team, but it's gonna be a long time to unlock him, which is why you see a lot of people use Pippin. You can use Eldred if you want to. I don't recommend it because you're just gonna discard Eldred anyways. Pippin, at least you're gonna get some use out of him. Eldred, I don't think is a viable long-term situation or long-term solution. Now, in terms of some other characters that you're gonna probably get along the way, Wilfwin is going to be a late term unlock, not really useful. Elro here, also late term. Fro is interesting. Fro has a really interesting kit, and you get him, or you get her unlocked, Shadow Campaign 1-9, and, you know, there's really interesting stuff within this kit. For instance, she stuns. You don't see a lot of tanks with stuns. A stun is very useful. She taunts here. She gets stacks of Unbreakable, which is basically prevents her from dying if she's at 1 health. Iron Will, she gains bonus max health. She gets to heal herself, and she can reduce turn meter on targets, which is not bad. But when you're countering, they're already at 0% turn meter, so this doesn't really get a lot of use here. You need to find a way to call her to assist, and you don't get that with Eomer. If you didn't catch it in Eomer's kit, Eomer is able to call assist, but it's with a Rohan ally. So this is where you got to build up Rohan allies around Eomer to get him to assist. And I believe Eowyn's assist is based on the highest damage character, which is not going to be Fro, because Fro's a tank. Fro doesn't have high damage. You're probably going to get Strider to be called with this, maybe Eomer. Those two have higher damage, so you're going to get one of these two to be called with the assist from Eowyn. So Fro is a decent option if you don't want to use Eothane. That stun's pretty handy, and it's an early game farm. Not bad. Leliel, maybe if the elves become meta, maybe Leliel, it becomes useful with that. Gets the defensive on her Rising Blade. She can heal herself for a percentage of her max health. She can gain stealth, or she gains stealth to all elf allies. It's okay. But yeah, Lelia's probably one that I'm just gonna skip for now. Until elves really become meta in the game, I'm not really gonna worry about Lelia. We've already talked about Naramiri. Harendiel's a late game unlock. Lomian's late game. Lomian's really kind of waiting on elves. Sergeant Ara is okay, but again, I believe she is late game. Well, she's Shadow 2-9, which is not bad, but Tip of the Spear's not. Tip of the Spear's more Gondor stuff. You're really waiting on a Gondor team for her and Harendiel. So I would skip those characters. Mary is a Shadow 3 unlock, but again, Road to Rivendell. Wait till we're at level cap and start working on that team. There's really no one else to cover there. If you guys have questions about someone else, you think I missed someone, or you are using someone else you think I should talk about, make sure to drop that down below in the comment section. Any questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas, also drop them down in the comment section. Again, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.